It is the front office report for the first time this season with Craig Breslow, the chief baseball officer of the Boston Red Sox. Hey, Craig.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Little off to a kind of a back and forth start here. I understand the season is long, but we were talking earlier about last night, 14 Ks, and I believe this team leads the league when it comes to strikeouts. Is that, Alex Cora has talked a little bit here and there about the weather. It takes a while to get guys going. Is there a concern there on your part?
I'd probably stop short of saying it's a concern. It's certainly something that we're mindful of. And this early in the season, you try to find the right balance of sounding the alarms and also giving a chance for guys to settle in. It's been cold. The weather has been unfavorable, but that's true for both teams that are out there. So, it's definitely something that we're watching and monitoring, and hopefully something that will we can settle into and make sure that we're having good at-bats and putting the ball in play regularly.
I mean, a bit of a pitcher's duel last night. But it's not like specifically last night. It's not like it's all kinds of fancy stuff. It's basically fastballs that those guys aren't hitting.
Yeah, no, Gossman did a really good job against us. And, I think as you're thinking about game planning against him, he's got a dominant split. He's been able to throw that for swing and miss for a really long time. Has been a really successful pitcher in this league. But you're right, it was forcing fastballs that were beating us last night. And, we didn't make the adjustment.
Craig, is baseball, like all other sports, we sit here and we talk about basketball, the evolution of the game. They shoot a lot of three-pointers. Do you feel like baseball, like the evolution of it changes where a lot of these guys, they're swinging for the fences, what leads to more strikeouts where you see, I think David Ortiz even said that guys are trying to hit so many home runs that they're either hitting home runs or striking out. Is that kind of like the new baseball with all these strikeouts?
I think it's fair to say that in some ways offensive approaches have changed. That's probably driven by a better understanding of, what drives run production, ultimately how runs are scored. I also think, though, it would be unfair to ignore the advances in pitching development. I mean, guys are seeing night in and night out better stuff than they had at any point in the history of this game. So when you put those two things together, it does make for a pretty unfavorable offensive environment. But ultimately, we've got to figure out a way to put the ball in play, consistently have good at bats, make sure that we're making good swing decisions. And generally, we've been making good swing decisions. We just need to continue to stay the course here.
Craig, there was so much talk about Alex Bregman and his position at third base going into the season. 3 errors for him so far. Is there any worry there for him?
No, I think we've seen the range. We've seen the ability to field the ball. The conversion right now is not what I think it will be. Some of the throws that he's given some short hops over to first base, and at times he's been bailed out by Tristan Romy. At other times he hasn't. But I think as he settles in, we'll be okay. But he does bring a pretty stabilizing and calming presence to the infield. So longer term, not worried about it and trust the track record there.
Craig, watching the Clubhouse on Netflix, you look so comfortable on that cart getting doused with booze. It looked like it happened all the time to you when you were at college. But we're trying to get our Ken Laird, our leader here, to do the same reenactment. But I just watching Alex and yourself speak with Rafael Devers on that Netflix series after he talked about the talent issues on the team, and then seeing his reaction to Bregman seemed to be two very opposing views by the same person. How hard was it in the build-up to this year to convey to the players that you were invested in the team, even if it appeared on the outside you were not?
Yeah, I think every one of those situations is unique and complicated and difficult because you are trying to balance what is best for any given individual with what is best for the organization. And, I think what we have seen to to date is that Rafi is incredibly competitive. He wants to win, and he puts winning above everything else. But he's a prideful and emotional guy, and that's exactly what you want out of an elite big leaguer. And as we sit here today, Rafi is accepted, kind of his role, what is best for the team. He's contributing, and he's been a great teammate. The way that he's interacting in the clubhouse, the way that he's spoken up about what he thinks we're capable of accomplishing this season, it's all been great. And I think everybody is kind of well served by giving these things some time and space and allowing them to play out.
Would in hindsight, anything you would have done differently, given how the sort of start to the season or start to camp went with Rafi?
I think Rafi and I have had some very, very productive and honest and candid conversations. I would, if anything, try to have more of those. I think they're really important, but that's true of any of the guys on the team. And I'm always willing to share exactly the direction that we're headed and where each guy stands and can contribute there. But I think it's best to keep the conversations between Rafi and me just between the two of us.
Have you watched any of the Clubhouse?
I have, actually. I have seen it, and I thought it was really, really well done. I think the audience will appreciate the unprecedented access and the look into what the life of a baseball player or a staff member or front office person is, especially over the course of 162 games. Baseball is so incredibly unique in that way.
No, it was going inside with you guys. Really, episode 6, I think, really focuses a lot on you and your crew over there, and it's really interesting. Trade deadline time. I feel like a little concerned that you might want to lighten the mood a little bit there in the room. Everybody nerding out. The fellas just waiting on your every word, which I thought was great, and The app, did you guys develop? It was so interesting to me. You have your own app, whatever you how you refer to it nerd wise, on determining the player value on wins, losses, etc. Did you guys develop that yourselves, or somebody do that for you?
So the first thing is, what we didn't allow Netflix to capture, of course, was the beer shower in the carts after each trade. And so it was quite a bit lighter than maybe we would have let on. But aside from that,
free pizza. I'm assuming some pizza in the room. Every once in a while, yeah. Right.
We developed all of these tools internally. And the deadline, is kind of the one moment in the season where all of these things come into focus, and a handful of decisions are magnified. But I think hopefully what that episode did was show that there are hours and hours of work by so many different people across the office, and oftentimes they don't actually lead to the execution of anything. But nonetheless, we have to go through the exercise of having incessant conversation and understanding what the landscape is. But to answer your question directly, those tools are developed internally, and we try to understand the impact of every move, both on our short-term kind of postseason odds and playoff picture, but also the longer-term position of the organization.
Craig, watching the documentary, did you feel like it was a fair depiction of how that season played out and everything you guys struggled with?
I did. That was a concern, I think, of a number of players and of me, that if Greg and his group didn't do such a great job of fully integrating and embedding themselves with us, and if you only get these snapshots, then you leave it to the audience to fill in the blanks, then you could get a very different perception of what happened. But I think they were with us enough that it was a fair and accurate depiction, of a season that had promise at certain points, but ultimately was disappointing.
Lucas Giolito got a start in Worcester last night. Is he close to being back here?
Yeah, I think both he and Brian, are probably a couple to a few starts away from rejoining us, and that should give us a boost and give us a little bit more flexibility and depth. But also, Fitzy and Newcomb have done a good job of stepping in and giving us a chance to win in each of the games that they've started for us.
Sam Kennedy said Tuesday that ownership has been pushing you to get the future locked up. Are you done, or you got more to do there?
I think the future is bright for the organization. We've got a lot of young talent in the big leagues, and hopefully a lot more young talent on its way. We're always open to creative ideas and avenues to ensuring that the players we believe to be cornerstone members of this organization remain in Red Sox uniforms for a really long time. So I guess the answer is we're never really done.
He also said that they need to get you and Mrs. Breslow a vacation. I know sometimes you struggle when it comes to declaratively naming the top three, but destinations that are under consideration.
Sure. And I appreciated Sam saying those nice things, and this job can be all-consuming, and so trying to find some time to be present as a husband and a dad is difficult. I'm not sure I can name three, but you guys expect that because I haven't been able to round out the list of any question that you've asked me. But my wife and I, we actually honeymooned in South Africa, and that remains probably the top vacation destination. And in my mind, spent an incredible 12 days between Cape Town on safari in Mala Mala, and then in the Seychelles to finish things off with a few days on the beach.
Craig, I know it's busy time for you, but if you and the missus would like to come to Bermuda, the show is going for the Greg Hill Foundation golf tournament.
Yes.
Okay. That seems like maybe something we'd be interested in.
Okay.
Hey, Craig, we have Wiggy here who pressures all of us to not take flex time because he's like doing things for Ken. Is there anybody in the Red Sox that looks down on front office workers for taking a couple days?
No.
Oh, good.
I think we all recognize how important it is that people get a chance to refresh. The season is so incredibly long, and the off season isn't actually time off for the front office. So we recognize the importance of the balance there.
All right. Well, hoping to avoid the sweep this afternoon, 4 o'clock first pitch on the Shaws and Star Market Red Sox Radio Network and on the Odyssey app. And then are you making the trip to Chicago?
I'm not, actually. So I was with the team in Mexico, Texas, and Baltimore. I actually left after the Monday day game in Baltimore, and we won the last two. So Alex was actually joking with me when we got back home. He said if my wife Kelly and I wanted to go to the Capitol Grill on him to get out of the stadium, that was probably our best chance of winning games. So I'm going to give the group some time away from me. I don't think they need me breathing down their throats this trip.
We
Get
call
the
that
prosciutto mozzarella wraps.
That's the Breslow jinx, we call that. Breslow jinx. All right, Craig, thank you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Have a good morning.